Hello all, this is Wasim and welcome back to my channel Wagon-pix. Hope you're all doing good and enjoying my videos. So today's topic of discussion is use effect. So use effect is again one of the most important topic in React, which is heavily used in React applications. So whenever you want to perform certain tasks uh, at certain specific moments, we won't use effect to be used. So we'll go through this tutorial and we'll see how we can use effect in our application. So points which we will be covering in this tutorial are: what is use effect, what exactly it is, how it is defined, and second point which we'll be learning is use effect on component mount. So component mount, we will consider this as an moment or a time. At this time, what functions you want to execute, or what task you want to perform at the time of component mode, that uh, that task can be written in use effect. So similarly, use effect on every component render. So whenever the component renders, the second point was only at the time of component mount, and the third point is whenever the component re-render, you want to perform certain tasks, those tasks will be written in use effect. So last point is use effect on every component render with a condition. Okay, so what this means is, at the time of component render, this certain task or function will execute, but depending upon a condition. If that condition is met, only and only then the written task will be executed. So let's get started and see how we can use effect. So I would like to tell you one simple thing, that you might be considering this as a simple topic. If you go through, we have seen useState earlier in my earlier video, and this is use effect, but this has very large application. When you start building your application, when your application grows, you will be frequently needing use state and use effect. So I would request you all to understand the concept use state and use effect, so that you will we will use this concept in our next videos. Okay, so please ask me the questions into comment box. I will uh, answer your questions, but if you're not able to understand, then you will not be able to understand the next topics. So I would request you all to ask me the questions. Okay, and also I would request you to go through my previous videos, which has basic information, basic concepts explained in detail, so you will be able to understand this current topic very clearly. Okay, so let's get started. Let us create a base uh, code. So for base code, we create a folder over here. Let us name the folder as project, and into this folder I will open my command prompt. So npx create react app use effect. Let us name the project as use effect. So once I hit enter, all the required node modules and packages will get installed, and our base code will be ready to launch. This might take some time. Here we are done with our installation part. All the packages are installed. Let us go into our project folder, that is cd use effect and npm start. Npm start is used to compile the code and launch the browser. So here we are, our basic code is compiled, and let us go and open our Visual Studio Code editor and open our code base code. Yes, this is our project. I have selected this, so here we are. So in this we will delete the unwanted files. We don't need this as well. We are deleting these files, and let us keep only the base file index.js, and also in index.js we will remove the unwanted code. We don't want css, sorry, and we don't want this line of code as well. And let us test this. If we are good to proceed with, yes, we have in the content reflection on the browser. So now let us create a child component over here, name it as app.js. So let us write the base code in this. Import react constant app, return, and at the end export default app. Okay, in this let us type hi. Okay, so let us try to we need to type this into div. So here we have, let us type inside the div. Make sure whatever you are typing, your JSX parts should be inside the div. It should be enclosed in div. If you won't include div, it will throw an error. Okay, so this is the our child component. Let us try to import this into our parent component app. So we need to include the path for this. For including the path, just click at the end of the component name and click control space. So this shows the path where this app component is stored. When you click on this, this will be included at the top. Okay, so what we are expecting is hello to be reflected from the parent component, and app, in app we have hi, which is to be reflected from the child component. So here we have hello and hi. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll use this app.js, and we will see in the use effect how we can use effect in this. Okay, so for this let us remove this, and let us define a button over here. Button, I will name it as click. So on click of the button, I will call a function, name the function as count increment, save, and let us define this function. Constant, So for this we also need use state. So we have seen the use of use state in our previous tutorial. For those of you who don't know the use of use state, I request you all to go through my previous video and go through the use state concept. So we'll be using here use state constant, set count, zero. Okay, so quickly update you, the state and state variable name is count, and to set this count we have defined the set count, and initial value of this count will be 0. So whenever we click on this button, this function will be called, and in this function we will set this to, so we will just increment this count to 1. Okay, so this is how it works. So let us try to export this. Count. Okay, so here we have the hello from the parent, and click from the child. We'll inspect this. So when I click, this is getting incremented 2 3. Okay, so here we have, so this is working fine. So now to see the concept of use effect, so we will define a use effect over here. This use effect, let us try to console something on our console screen. .log, and let us type, we this topic is the first topic which we are looking into, that is use effect on component mount. Okay, so we'll see how we can manage at the time of component mount. Okay, at the time of component mount. Okay, so this is use effect, and one thing which you need to define over here is you need to define a blank array. So this is the syntax which is used for use effect. So whatever is written inside this use effect will be executed only at that time of component mount. This component, when this is mounting, at that time only this this function will be executed, and you will see at the time of component mount. So this is mounted only one time at the beginning, so we should see this one time in the console. Okay, so I'll remove this. So I think we should so what we'll do for timing, we'll remove this strict mode. Because of this strict mode, what is happening is we are getting console twice. So instead of strict mode, you can also use div. Okay, so now we'll get back to our code. So once I refresh, see the count is 0, and this got executed at the time of mount. So when I click, see the count is increasing. Okay, but this is not executing, but this has only executed at the time of component mount. So why I have defined click here is because this is use state. So whenever state is changing, at that time the component re-renders, so re-renders means all the steps are rendered again. Okay, so but this use effect, in this use effect we have used blank array. This means this will be only executed at the time of component mount. Okay, so this is how the use effect works. Let us look at the second topic, that is the use effect on every component render. So every time when the component renders, you need to do some perform certain task. So that means whenever the count is changing, so in useState, whenever the count is changing, the component renders. So this, the component render occurs whenever there is a props change. If suppose I am passing anything to this components into the prop and that is changing, the component will render. Whenever useState, some state is changing, the entire component will render. So similarly, let us define a use effect. Console log, let us print during every re-render. Okay, so the syntax for this is, you will not add any array, blank array over here. You will just have this bracket and bracket close. So in this, see, at the time of mounting, we saw that the earlier count was this was assigned 0, and this got printed at the time of component mount, and at the component mount this also will be executed. Okay, but when I click on this button, you can see the count increased to 1, and we are getting this during every re-render. Okay, so when I click back again, the count increased to 2 and this got executed again. So this means this will be printed every time the component is rendering. Okay, so now this is how use effect without any conditions will look like. So the third topic is use effect on every component render with a condition. Okay, so here we will define use effect again. Okay, block every render with condition. Okay, okay, so to define a condition, let us take one more state variable over here. Condition, let us name it as condition, and function for useState. Let us define initial value of this as 0. Okay, so this will be rendered every time. So if, let us make this if the count is greater than 5, so let's set the condition, let us make this as false. Okay, false, and at the time of when the count increase more than 5, we will set this as true. Okay, sorry, true. So what happens is, this use effect is rendering every time, and every time this count is we will check the count. If the value is greater than 5 and the count increases more than 5, that at that time we will set this at true, and this condition, we will use this condition in our next use effect understanding. So in this, So this should render at the time of component mount, and next time when this increase more than 5, at that time we should see this on every render, but with a condition, and the condition is when the count increases more than 5. Okay, so here we will clear this all and we'll refresh this. So we saw that count is 0, and we saw all the 3 use effects executing at the time of component mount. And when I click on this, the count increased to 1, and during every render we got this use effect. Okay, so let us see at the time when the count increased to 2, we have this 3, 4, 5, and now when this increases to 6, we should see on every run, but with a condition. Did you see this? This got executed because the value of condition was false, and when the count got increment to 6, that it increased from 5 to 6, we made this true. So when the state changed, this got executed. So this is all about use effect. You can go through this thoroughly and you can understand the concept. So we will look at one more example of using use effect. So what we can do is we can build a practical application, some kind of practical application. We are only going through some theoretical steps. Let us go and look at some practical application. Let us remove this. Okay, let us remove. Okay, so let us take a practical example. I have removed the earlier code, and let us define a div. And what we'll see is we will take a text field over here, and whenever I enter my name in that text field, it should say hello my name, and my name should be reflected on the title. So this is the practical application which we will be looking into using useState and useEffect. Okay, so first let us remove the index part, hello part, which we have defined. It's not looking good. And in app part, let us start with the heading part. Let us make this heading 2, and let us align everything to the center. Style, text align, center. Okay, so let us name the heading as title update. So this should be reflecting over here. Okay, title update. And now let us define the text field. To define the text field, let us define a label beside the text field, and let us name the label let us define the ID for this label as name input, enter your. So what is this label is nothing but the content beside the text field. We will be having this. Sorry. Enter your name, and next we will have a input field defined. So what will be the type for this input field? Type will be the text. We will be writing text in this. ID, id is this, because we are reflecting for this label in front of this label, and value, this is name. I think we don't need this. Okay, so on change we will call a function, and inside the text field we also need a placeholder, uh, mm, type our name here. Okay, so let us close this input. So this is the heading, and this is the label which comes beside the text box, and this is the input text box which will accept text, and this is the id which links this label with this text box. Value, this is striken out, we will look into this. We need to define some value for this, and on change we will call a function. Okay, so on change what we will do is we'll call a function. Let us name the function as on value change. Okay, so we need to define this over here, constant. Okay, so here we have on value change, what we need to do is we need to set a value. For setting up we need to define a useState constant name, set name, so on value change, when we type anything in the text box, this on value change function will be called, and we need to pass event to this event. And what we will do is we will set this the value into useState. That how will we do that? We'll just quickly set name, and we'll need to event dot target dot value. Okay, so whatever name we are typing, it will be stored in the state, and with every letter type this use state will be executed and the component will render. And for this what we will do is we also need to this will what this use state, this will update the use state, but we need to reflect the name on title, as well as we need to define the name, we need to display the name also. So for that what we will do, we'll make use of useEffect. So useEffect, what document dot title, will make a backtick hello, we need a $sign over here, and that will include the name. Okay, so what this does is we need to update a condition over whenever the name is changing, we need to execute this useEffect, and the name will be applied to the title. Okay, So along with this, if I want to show the name below the text, what I can do, I can define a paragraph. In this paragraph, hello, sorry, we need to define this inside. Okay, I will format this. So to quickly explain you what is happening, let us see if this is working fine. Okay, so yes, this is working fine. No, so what we have done is, initially we defined the title as title update, and after that we defined a label. Label is nothing but the text which is beside your um, text field. Okay, so what the input will accept is text, and we have defined an id. So name value is where this value will be stored. We will be storing this into name. Okay, and on change of the value into the field, what action we need to perform. Okay, we are calling this on value change. Okay, and this placeholder is at the when the text field is blank, what you want to show, type your name. Okay, so and this is the hello, this is just, we have defined the paragraph, and this is the name. Currently the name is blank, so it is reflecting nothing over here. So what happens is, when I change something, when I type something into the input box, on value change will be triggered, and whatever characters or digits I am typing, those letters will be stored in the name. So we are setting the name with the event, and that will be stored in the name. And when the name changes, we have seen this use effect with condition. So in this, what is happening is, the title is getting updated with the name. Okay, so the title is getting updated, whatever name is getting changed, we are also reflecting that over here. So let us quickly see how this will look like. Do you see this? So I am typing a name over here. I am getting the name, my name, into my below text field, and the same name is reflected onto my title. So you can consider this as one of the practical application of useState and useEffect. You can go through this again and try to understand this. And if you have any kind of questions, do let me know. Ping me into the comment box. I will answer your questions. Hope you liked the video and you enjoyed it. Thank you so much.